Welcome to another week of the Commissioner's Corner. After taking a break from our student athletes last week, we're back on screen with junior forward Maija Almich from St. Thomas. Maija, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing, Jen?
I'm really good. I'm excited to chat. We've got plenty to chat about, all the way from a transition from Division III to teammates playing in the Olympics to kind of the end of the season stretch that we have seemingly all of a sudden found ourselves in. So let's get right to it. So we just mentioned we've got a couple weeks left of the regular season already. We're to that point of the year. And I'm really just curious, for most, good fans or viewers, they know that St. Thomas has gone through a kind of an unprecedented transition from Division III to Division I. And certainly I imagine that there were expectations coming into the season, not necessarily even on the ice, but just expectations around what the competition was going to be like, or the highs or the lows. So I would just love to know, now that we're almost through the season, how has reality met those expectations?
Yeah. Well, going into the season, we know of WCHA being one of the top leagues in the nation, of course, right now, I think 4 of them are nationally ranked, the top 4, which is awesome. And that's so fun to play against such great competition. And so we were expecting those, tough games. And reality was they are tough, but they're so fun at the same time. I think that's what's so fun about this year, is because it's unprecedented. We can just have fun with it and roll with anything that comes to us. And the games are just the best part.
Did you ever, so when you committed to St. Thomas, 3 years ago, did you ever think you'd play in the WCHA?
Maybe not WCHA, but I know there was always little whispers of we're probably going D1 and who knows where that'll lead. But I was always fine with it. I was open to it, but that wasn't my main goal in hockey. But I'm very happy that it ended up happening.
That's awesome. Well, we're very happy that you ended up, that the Tommies are in the league. So for you as a junior, you've obviously had 2 seasons in the MIAC. Maybe a season and a half, we'll call it, because last year with COVID was certainly a weird, very shortened season. But what do you think for you, or maybe even for your teammates, what's been the biggest adjustment from, kind of maybe the style of hockey or the type of hockey you were playing before, or maybe there hasn't been? What's been the biggest change?
Yeah, I think the main thing was the amount of time you have out on the ice. You have to be so much quicker with the puck, I feel like, in that transition. But I think strength wise, it seems pretty consistent with what was before, at least, which is nice. But I would say speed of the game and just time to think and handle the puck is definitely a lot faster than previous years.
Do you feel like even since the beginning of the season that you all have gotten better? I guess I say that because I was at Columbus for your opening weekend, and opening weekend is opening weekend, regardless of what level you're at, right? It's still the first time you're on the ice in a game setting. So for me, watching your team from September to February, I've seen huge improvements, but I'm curious if you feel that same type of thing on the ice.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think, each and every one of us has learned exponential amounts this season compared to any other season. This is so much to learn from, whether it's who we're playing or our own systems we're learning. I think Ohio, we all our defensive zone was so different from what it is now. And I think our D zone is our best part of our game. And there's definitely a lot of advancements in that over the past few months.
It was full change. Not only did we change divisions, and which is in and of itself unprecedented, but a brand new coaching staff as well, obviously with Marty staying on the bench, but in a different capacity. And so it was all new, and it all happened kind of at the same time, right? Yes. So all of a sudden you hit September and it's all fresh. So has that been good, bad? What have you learned about yourself through all of the change?
Yeah, first of all, credits to our coaches. I think that they're doing so well, and I enjoy what they're saying, and I enjoy coming to practice every day. And I think that from this transition and with the coaches, every day is so much more fun, I feel because there's just so much, you're going to learn in the next 24 hours. So I think it's just been a really fun experience overall. And I've just such a good learning experience too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, right, to see what opening day looks like next year, because I feel
Yes.
like you all have your skates under you, pun
Yeah.
intended, very
Mhm.
differently. So I love it because from everyone that I've talked to around St. Thomas, the expectations were just to compete. We're just
Yeah.
to get there, go out, and not be defined by a win or a loss, because it's an incredible jump for anyone in our league, because you already said we have the top 4 teams in the country. I mean, that's
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
that's pretty good. And so to get yourselves around it, and I'm just honestly, not that I want this season to be over, but I'm really excited for the future of Tommy hockey, because I think your group is really laying the foundation of kind of what's to come.
Yeah.
So speaking of Coach Johnson and
Mhm.
a couple of your teammates, the
Yes.
Tommies have been pretty active on social media this last week or so, as we've been celebrating Olympic ice hockey and what's happening with the women's game over in Beijing. So I'm curious. So for folks who don't know, obviously St. Thomas's head coach is Joel Johnson, who's currently in Beijing coaching the USA women's team. And then Saskia Moore and Nicole Valerio, who both play at St. Thomas, are currently part of Team Switzerland and competing in the Olympics. So for you guys back here watching, like, what is it like to see them on this stage?
You just feel so proud, and it's just like so crazy that, I mean, our teammates are in Beijing right now, playing Olympic hockey. That's like what we all dream of doing. That's the highest you can go. And so obviously that's just the coolest thing. And to see Joel on the bench, and I mean, we got a call from him before our Wisconsin game last Monday, and it was just so cool to hear his insights, even all the way from Beijing, and just see what he's doing on the, it's just such a surreal experience to be sitting in Minnesota and see them in Beijing.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
No kidding. How excited are you to get them back?
Oh, I'm excited. Yes. We're missing them, but we're proud of them too.
So proud of them. The WCHA has a huge presence in Beijing
Yes.
right now, whether it's alums or current players. But I think the current players, it's such a unique thing, because to play 4 or 5 months of your season and then take this little break to go play in the Olympics, like, even just to say that out loud, I feel the same way. I feel sort of like a proud mom, oddly, when I'm watching on TV, and it's just, what a platform for them. It's so exciting. All right, so road trip to Duluth to finish, and then you're at a home and home with the current #1 team in the country, who is Minnesota. So, no small task. You've got 2 top 10 teams ahead of you. What are you looking forward to about the last couple of weeks?
I think those are my favorite games, when these teams we're playing are so high up there. Like, I think that just adds a whole nother, statistically, we're not supposed to win. So let's just go out and give it our hardest. And recently we've been like just kind of talking about playing a simple, boring game, which sounds not fun, but that makes it super fun, because I think that makes us more successful when we do get those offensive chances. And I'm just very excited to play those competitive games coming up.
Yeah, I think, what I hear often from our players is, that's why you want to play the best teams, when competitors, when they want to compete. And so here it is right in front of you, 2, as you already said, 2 chances that on paper, on paper it is what it is, but once you step on the ice, you're going to have such a chance to spoil some things for a couple of our top teams. Exactly. So for you, maybe best highlight of the season so far, or maybe most memorable moment of the season so far?
I have a few, so
let's do it.
Lot to talk about. No, our first series against Ohio, that was just like, we made it, like stepping on that ice, and it was just super, super cool. And especially after that first period, I think it was still 0-0 or something, and we're just like, what? We were like very surprised, but just so happy, and it was just the coolest thing ever. That, and then also participating in Minnesota Hockey Day, that's so cool. I mean, you grow up as a little girl, 5 years old, playing hockey on the pond, and it's just so fun to be able to play that competitively on the ice. So it was such a fun experience.
Were you freezing though? Tell me the truth.
The ears were, yes.
It was amazing, right? I felt like the first period, it was gorgeous. The sun was out and it felt really great. Second period, it was a little colder, but still manageable. But man, when you all came out for the third period, like no sun, the wind had picked up. It felt like 20 degrees colder. And I looked at all everyone coming out and on the ice, and I was thinking, do you still love this? Like, this is really
are you still having fun?
Yeah. I love it that it's such a great memory, because we always hear that, whether it's, you know, the men or the women or whoever, kids who grew up in Minnesota, like playing on the pond, playing outdoors, that's what it's really all about. And so it was, and you know, Mankato did an amazing job. That was a great atmosphere, great game for women's hockey, but it was cold.
It was.
All right, let's talk about Maija a little bit. I want to know more about you. So tell me about your family. Tell me about how you got into hockey. How did hockey fit into the equation?
Yeah. So I have an older sister, and me and her used to play hockey together. We used to be defensive partners, actually, which is funny. So that was really fun to be able to do that with your sister. And then I have an older brother. He also played hockey. So hockey was kind of always in the family, but it was just my own family was the hockey players. So, but I don't know what made me start. I did gymnastics and soccer, but I think winter was definitely my favorite season. And so it was the time to play hockey, and I just really enjoyed it all the time.
So what took you to St. Thomas?
Let's see. Campus is beautiful. Academics are super well known to be great, and they're the only engineering program too that, like, in D3 there's not many engineering programs, so I was super interested in that. And I loved the coaches. I think it was known to be a good program too, D3 level, so I just knew that. I think that sounded like a good fit. You mentioned engineering, so you're an engineering major. Tell me about your schedule. Tell me about how you're managing. Oh boy.
What I envisioned for an engineering major maybe isn't true, but I would just love to know how you're making this all happen.
Yeah. It's definitely a little more taxing than maybe some other majors, but it's busy. You know, it's early in the morning, all day classes or homework. But I think labs is kind of the toughest part. There's just so many labs in engineering with the classes you take, and it's time taxing, but I think I'm handling it pretty well. I don't know. I think it's going good.
I'm sure you're doing great. What's the dream job? What's the goal after hockey? What do you want to do?
Yeah. That's a good question. I'm not too sure.
On the spot. You gotta tell me right now. No, I'm kidding. What are you thinking?
I'm kind of debating between the med device field. It's really interesting. And I had previous internship and experience there, which was really good. And then environmental engineering work, I would love to do. I think that's kind of the dream. I just I have no idea what that really entails. Just anything to, like, help the world in any way. I think that'd be really cool.
That's our quote. Anything
so
to help the world in any way. No, it's not cheesy. It's great. It's great. We need people like you because our world needs some help. Okay, so we get to the end of this, and I don't know if you've ever watched one of these, Maija, but I got some hard questions coming. They're not hard, but it's fun. This is my favorite part. So I'm going to ask you a few this or that's, and you'll give me your quickest and best response. You ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay. Sweater or hoodie?
Hoodie.
Phone call or text?
Phone call.
I should stop being so surprised. I feel like everyone says phone call, and I just imagine everyone's going to say text. Oh, card game or board game?
Card game.
Starbucks or Caribou?
Starbucks, for sure.
You might be my first Starbucks. What do you get at Starbucks? Do you have a must?
Well, the main thing is the iced chai is much better, I think, at Starbucks than Caribou. So that's like the only thing I get.
Got it. Fair. Okay. Oceans or mountains?
Mountains.
That was easy for you.
That was quick.
Pen or pencil?
Pencil.
Oh, I should have guessed. Anyone who's in engineering, I imagine you use pencil a lot. Okay. When you go to the movies, are you a candy or popcorn person?
I think I'm a candy person.
Favorite kind of candy?
Chewy sweet tarts.
Chewy? That was incredibly specific, Maija.
It's like must have for a movie.
Okay, got it. Passenger or driver?
Driver.
I would have guessed that. Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Okay. Dinner or dessert?
Dessert.
Yes. High fives to the
Yes.
camera on that one. Road trip or plane trip?
Road trip.
Where would you go?
Washington.
Like
anywhere
the state,
west.
The state of okay, the state of Washington. Why west? Just because of what the landscape looks like, or
yeah, it's just so beautiful there. I just love everything about that state for some reason.
environmental engineer, likes to be a vet.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see where we're going with this. Okay. How about dogs or cats?
Cats.
Really?
Yeah.
You
I'm a big cat lady.
You're a cat lady.
Embarrassing to admit, but
no, it's not. But I do want to know, how many cats are we talking about?
I would only have 2 max, it's not too much.
Yeah, I know. I feel like that's a real light definition of a cat.
Yeah.
Okay. Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
What are you binge watching right now? Anything in particular?
I'm big on Euphoria, but that's not on Netflix.
So we're gonna plug Netflix, but not any shows.
Yeah, but not actually watch it.
Got it. Dine in or delivery?
Dine in.
Okay, last one. Ready?
Okay.
What's one word you would use to describe yourself as a hockey player?
This is tough. I would say gritty.
Gritty. Haven't heard that one yet. That's a good one. I feel like that's a great descriptor of your team as well.
Yes, I would say so too.
I love it. So Gritty, Maija, and her teammates head up to Duluth this weekend for a 2-game series. All 8 of our WCHA teams are in conference play this weekend. So check out WCHA.com for details. And obviously, in reminder, all of our games can be streamed live on B1G Plus, part of the Big Ten Network streaming package. I want to give another little plug right now. So today, our final face-off tickets went on sale. The final face-off, which is our final 4 teams remaining in the postseason, will be March 5th and 6th at Ritter Arena in Minneapolis. You can visit our website or gophersports.com for more details around tickets. It's going to be the place to be the first weekend of March, because undoubtedly it's going to be incredible women's hockey. So we hope to see you there. Maija, thanks so much for joining me today. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.